So human turtle, Mitch McConnell, wants states to go bankrupt instead of getting any more federal aid or support from the federal government due to the coronavirus pandemic. That's obviously a really ridiculous stance to take. Rather than helping these states out, Mitch McConnell, the turtle man himself, wants them to go bankrupt, file for bankruptcy. Don't think it actually works like that, Mitch, because now so this is a quote. My guess is in reference to these governors, my guess is their first choice would be for the federal government to borrow money from future generations to send it down to them now so they don't have to do that. That's not something I'm going to be in favor for, but you know what, Turtle Man, you are in favor of that $4.5 trillion bailout of these huge, massive corporations, no strings attached bailouts to the tunes of trillions of dollars. You're okay with that, but you're not okay with giving support and as regards to federal funding to these states and municipalities whose revenues have shrank dramatically due to the coronavirus pandemic. Their tax base is drying up as we speak and has been, while there's record numbers of people filing for unemployment. Doesn't make sense. And also, okay, you're so concerned about the federal, deficit and all that nonsense. It doesn't really, deficit in the United States doesn't matter. We have a sovereign currency, and the federal government can just honestly keep giving out as much money as they need to during this time until we reach a point of, hyperinflation, which we're nowhere near at. What's important now is obviously giving these states, these cities, these municipalities, these counties the aid and support they need so they're actually able to take care of people during a fucking pandemic where the economy is absolutely crashing and tanking. 26 million people have lost their jobs since mid-April, and now Mitch McConnell is saying, well, we can't give them any money now. It's gonna fuck the country up for future generations. Okay, then where are you when Trump added, was it 1.5 trillion or maybe more than that dollars to the deficit with his tax breaks that 83% of the benefits went to the top 1% of the population? Where were you then? Where were you when you just voted for that third stimulus package that gave away, again, $4.5 trillion to the to these huge, massive corporations with no strings attached, no oversight whatsoever? Again, whenever that type of tax cuts that explode the federal deficit, whenever they benefit these huge, massive corporations or wealthy individuals in general, people like McConnell, people like Lindsey Graham and those idiots who are unfortunately in power, they yes do that tax breaks to the huge corporations that outsource jobs and have tax havens overseas, no strings attached, bailout, 4.5 trillion. That's good. But what we can't do, and we shouldn't help out these states and cities, because we're gonna fuck it up for future generations if we keep adding to the federal deficit. Again, his reasoning is suspect. It doesn't make sense to begin with. And if we're going to be adding anything to the federal deficit, yeah, it should be going to these states and cities and municipalities during a pandemic when their tax base is drying up, so they're still able to, pave the roads, provide unemployment benefits, so they're able to keep their schools open when they do open, so they're able to provide support and services to the people that need it. That makes sense. You know what doesn't make sense? Giving $4.5 trillion and no strings attached bailouts to these multinational corporations who often are located or registered overseas so they don't have to pay taxes in the US. That doesn't make sense, obviously. That 4.5 trillion, okay, give that to these cities, states, give that to the individuals. I mean, again, if you're not able to see, past this ridiculous rhetoric and reasoning that Turtle Man Mitch McConnell is using, I have a nice bridge I would like to sell you if that's the case. So I mean, it's just how fucked up of a political system we have in the United States, where, you know, Mitch McConnell, he's the majority leader in the Senate. He's just a completely, from my perspective, really just disgusting individual and politician, and that's reflected by, we can't, I can't do a southern, we can't give these bailouts. I don't know what that is. We can't give these bailouts. We can't help out these cities and states. They should just file for bankruptcy because, well, future generations and shit like that. Don't worry about me signing off on the 4.5 trillion, no strings attached bailouts to Wall Street and these financial institutions. Don't worry about that. We gotta stop now. Too much has already been added to the deficit. We gotta worry about future generations and shit like that, so we can't do that. I know he doesn't really talk like that necessarily, but I was just trying to do my best. Turtle man. He's like, has a weird neck and double chin and all that stuff, and just looking at a picture of him now, he's got his little weird round glasses and huge jowls and Jesus. So hopefully this motherfucker gets voted out of office. I think, what is it, Amy McGrath, like a former Navy or Air Force pilot. She's more of a kind of moderate corporate centrist Democrat, but I mean, lesser of two evils. I don't know, maybe she'd be better than McConnell. Honestly, it would be hard to be worse than him. He's just very, very retrograde and regressive political views, in my opinion. So peace, much love. If you liked the video, click that thing, the thumbs up thing. If you don't, do the thumbs down thing, I guess. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Peace, much love.